sure we are started. Alright, hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Survival Golden Age, episode 1000, and I think we're on the 60s or 70s, I'm not sure. But hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. I am actually going to grab my glasses, and I forgot where I placed my water. Oh, no, it's just there. I was wondering where my water was there. Let me put this water bottle to the side. There we go. And let me grab this water bottle and I place it here. There we go. Whew. Hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. And hopefully the audio is not too messed up. I do apologise. This water bottle is now attacking me for some reason. Just shove it up there to now. It'll probably fall. But hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. Okay, I can hear. I thought my headset had disconnected because I had not heard any of the animals in the nearby area making noises. But hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. And in today's episode, I was going to actually work on what we were doing around here, but I have an idea which we're going to have to probably gather up some materials for, as we have ran out of materials for said project I'm planning. So, it has been quite a while since we last did this project, and how long ago, you're probably asking, is... I just auto-corrected, there we go. I really need to sort out my backpack again. I loved having it in like a certain way that was easier to find stuff, but this is a little bit, it is easier because all the tools are at the bottom. But it's a little bit annoying, to be honest. Alright, let me shove that seed and that in there. So, in today's episode, we are going to have to go and head out to a spruce forest. I was going to say spruce forest in the overworld, but I think we might have to head to the Twilight Forest today, so that we can grab some of the materials that I'm needing, and that's primarily just spruce wood. I don't really like to use modded woods in builds for my series, and you're probably wondering, like, you know, why would I not use modded materials? I'm not playing modded. I like to use modded stuff in that said modded dimension, if they add a dimension. Some of them don't add dimensions and some of them do. But the reason why I do not like using dimension mods, woods outside said dimension, is because sometimes I get like corruptions in my world and it just deletes it. And we've had that problem happen quite a lot of times. I'm pretty sure somewhere around our house has to be, probably in this area here, there has to be old blocks that are being replaced with the new ore of a mod that I used to have in the series, which now has been turned into a random block. So, probably glass. Most modded ore turns into a glass, particularly glass panes. And I will say that's not that bad, but for woods, I don't actually know what wood turns into. A lot of the time it just disappears and creates lighting problems that sometimes are permanent and then sometimes not that permanent. Also, let me know what I should do with this cave. I am looking for some suggestions. I'm thinking about maybe widening it a little bit and then maybe doing some like decorations throughout it. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know down below. But that's the reason why I do not like using modded woods outside of a dimension, is that I'm just too afraid that I might load up my world without that mod, or it might get corrupted, that mod, and I have to remove it. And I've used it for, like, maybe I used it for all of my pathing in my world, kinda like I do with Junglewood. You know what, I really should upgrade this area with the new, what do you call it, pathing. It is looking a little bit, worse for wear due to its old schoolness. I need to add the rest of the people to the comment garden. I keep forgetting that. I will probably go through all of the comments soon and add a bunch of new people to the comment garden. So if you're not yet in the comment garden, you can get in quite easily now. I do plan on that being, you know, changed for, you know, certain reasons, as I don't want to overfill it. There we go. Put that into there. Put that in there. There we go. Now, I don't want to overfill my, what do you call it? I forgot this was up here. I don't want to overfill my community garden, so I will change the rules once we get to a set spot in the community garden. That being once we get... I think maybe I might wait till the full rules filled out. Or I might wait till we get to green. And then I'll change the rules over to new rules. That being that it is, you know, changed from just being able to comment, you can be added to the community garden, to the new rule of you have to give a device or, you know, an ID or something, and if the ID is good, you know, we'll, you know, add you to the community garden, stuff like that, advice, and some other stuff, fan art, and you know what, it's been a little while since I said it, and my brain is not really, you know, the best now, it's a little bit fried, a little bit cooked, and that's just because, you know, I'm still getting better from being sick. Luckily, I'm able to speak a little bit better today, I tell you, because yesterday I kept, like, slurring certain bits of my words, and it's really annoying. Really? I say that and then annoying. I should have really put this somewhere else. You know what, I'll actually keep that on me. I am short on, that for now. And let us go and head over to the Twilight Forest. That's exactly what we were supposed to do today. Do I have enough durability on my tools for this? Yeah, I have a perfectly good mending axe. This axe is non-mending. I was using the axe up first before swapping it. We'd still have to fix, like, you know... I'm actually thinking about breaking our Twilight Forest and moving it somewhere else in the world. So let me know if you have any ideas. I think I might dedicate an entire area to it. It's just, how would you describe it? It's not in the worst spot. I just feel like I could do so much with it. It just needs to be changed. And also this portal here, I'm actually thinking about doing something with this portal soon. I changed it to kind of look like, you know, a kind of like sword kind of shape, and it looked, you know, quite nice, but I do think it will need to be renovated or removed, and that's so that we can start actually expanding our base just slightly. I'm not sure fully on what I'm going to do just yet with this area, but I do plan on expanding out this way with some new builds around. I will be removing the windmill and replacing it with a whole new build, so if you have any suggestions on what I should swap that to, let me know down below. I am thinking about a few ideas actually. I was thinking about a barn idea, kind of like a small little barn, or something else entirely. I do have this, you know, much more larger spot out front now, so I could put something there, but it's really a hit or miss. Will it actually, you know, look nice? So I'm very iffy on doing that now. So we'll head back into the Twilight Forest. Hello. My house. It's been so long since we've been in this house. My Yeti armor. Look at that Yeti armor. Well, Arctic armor. Don't think I made the Yeti armor yet. I made a part of the Yeti armor. That's what I made. Part of the Yeti armor. Can't believe how long ago we did the Twilight Forest. I am actually thinking about dedicating more to the Twilight Forest. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with the Twilight Forest. We have kind of put in the bare minimal stuff. I do really want to add more to this. I really like this little tree with all our trophies on it. We have the sheep, which was the last thing that we did. And I really like how it looks. I might renovate it to look somewhere, well, look a little bit different. But so far I do like how it's looking. This is when we were starting the projects here. I still yet to do the projects here. I will probably do a lot of building out here, but for now, it is, you know, put on the back burner. That's what I will say. Put on the back burner. And I just need a little path here. I'm actually thinking about chopping down this tree. It's right in the spot right here. I will just make a little tiny plateau and then break this down. I will run out of hunger tremendously fast. I will actually shove that in the backpack, and yeah, we should be should just be good to just walk over all this. There we go. And I will probably grab my other axe. Why do I have an iron mace? I don't know. I'll probably just get rid of that. Shovel, we got the shovel due to a little bug that we're having with efficiency. If any of you know how to fix the efficiency bug with shovels, let me know down below. Because I tell you, I think I might have to put it back down like a little level. I don't know if it's due to... I don't know if it's due to the, what do you call it, FPS being high, that's not capturing it, or it's just the speed. I think it must just be the speed. That's what I'm thinking, it must just be the speed. Kind of ruined that tree there. But that is a really nice tree. I think I might actually keep this tree here, and then in the future I might steal the design of this tree so that we can make a better Christmas tree this year. I think it's actually, you know, with not being Christmas yet, it's been Halloween, but it's not been Christmas yet at this point. There we go. Alright, let me go and start chopping down this tree right here. And kapow, down goes the tree. Kapow, down goes the tree. We just have to work with the hunger quick. We're working against our own hunger now. This axe is about to break. You know what, I don't have that many axes and I want to put it into a museum, so I'll probably just shove it in the backpack now. There we go. New wood that we have to use for a build soon. Alright. Now let me go and eat some carrots. Yeah, we're doing this half at a time. I'll just, you know, slowly make my way around. I really like the cave, I like the roots. I am tempted to bring some of the roots back. I know I don't like using blocks from, well, the dimension, but the roots blocks do look so nice. It's really tempting. It really is tempting. I'm already full on the blocks. I'm probably gonna have to dedicate a backpack to just seeds and saplings because this is getting a bit too unreal, if I'm being honest. Alright, let's grab all of these saplings and we'll move on to what I'm focused on today. Alright, let me just shove that in there. We've still got quite a bit to actually go. I'm very surprised on how much wood is actually here. We'll have like plenty of wood for whatever we're doing. I'm almost full on my backpack. There we go, that should be everything. Yep. That's everything collected up. And that got me a whopping, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and almost 12 stacks. 9 stacks, that's not too bad. It's probably the only reason why I've kept Twilight Forest around, and you know, the now, is that I do not have any ideas for in the Twilight Forest. They always spawn around my house. I think this is the problem I've also had. Is that yeah, it's just spawning around my house. It's not the worst thing. That's just a skeleton horse. Oh, you're a real skeleton horse. I don't know how that skeleton horse got here, but it has. Alright, let me see. We do actually have some of this yeti fur, and is that how you make Arctic armor? Yeah. You can actually make colored Arctic armor. That actually just gives me an idea that I'm willing to give a try. So, let's go find something that is red. Ah, there we go. Some red flowers here. We just need I think just 4 should do, I think. We'll check it out. There we go. Alright, let's head back to the house, and I'll actually see if we can dye this armor. I saw that there was a little, you know, thing saying that you can dye it. It's dyeable. So, let us go and do that. Ah, yes, all the blocks that I've collected. Alright, it does look like it is dyeable. We'll make that, and we'll make the leggings. And we'll see how this looks if we do dye it. Oh, that's terrible. Let me actually show the chest plate. To be honest, it's not that really fashionable. Not that really fashionable. For some reason it reminds me of the frilly necks. You know that outfit where you have the big, you know, frilly bit around your neck? It reminds me of that. That is definitely going in a chest, if I can find a chest somewhere. I think I have a little, you know, bit of room in the upstairs bit here. I'll shove this in here. And I do not have the rest of the thingy there, so just shove that in there. That is very disappointing. That is very disappointing. I saw I had a great idea for a Santa costume for this year, but it looks like that's not going to be the case, and I'm very disappointed. I saw that it could be dyeable, and I thought, okay, they're probably not going to do the white is dyeable, they're probably going to do the leather that's dyeable, and I thought, oh, that's going to be so great, but no. Alright, so in today's episode, we're going to be heading over to Voxtown. We're already halfway through the episode, so we're going to have to step up our game, if I'm being honest. Whee! Here we are. With the power of teleportation, we have arrived. Here! That was actually very cool. I don't think I've made that jump that many times. Alright. So, the last episode that we were in Voxtown was actually, I think, for the Abbey, I think. We were working on Abbey. Also, I've noticed my mouse keeps messing up sometimes, and it's really annoying. Like, this is me holding it up in the air, and it's somehow moving. I think my mouse may be dying. I might have to add one to the throne, if any of you would like to purchase that. I'm just being honest, y'all. Let's see. Oh, why did I never light this up? Well, there's actually pretty free materials there. Never lit up the mines. I should really finish off the mines. I started the main idea, and I just never continued it. Welcome to the Frog Wing. That was actually pretty cool, you know, punch there. That was actually pretty cool. I did not expect to be able to turn around just in time to punch it away so it would not explode. You know what, I'm clipping that one. That was actually very cool. I've never been able to go around that fast to punch it. There's also a manticore over there. But I should really work on the mines very soon. If any of you have any ideas... If any of you have any ideas for the mine, let me know down below. We will be finishing off the... what do you call it? Okay, I'm free to just walk around now. I do want to finish off the... what do you call it? Abbey. So we'll be finishing off the Abbey very soon. I think that guy just died. He had a heart attack. But I do finish. I do. My brain's just not working now. You know what? Carrot bait. What are you looking at? Can I eat a carrot piece? No. No? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, you're not getting a carrot. Leave me alone. You're out of carrot. Well, you're a llama. You can't have a carrot. Fine. One carrot, okay? Oh, you don't want to even have the carrot now, you're just kicking dirt all over it. No respect, I tell you, no respect. But I'm planning on getting... Oh, front side. I'm planning on getting the front side of the Abbey done very soon. I'm planning on it coming out just a tiny bit. I think I might actually make it go out and then have a little step upwards outside. Maybe do a Colosseum kind of thing. Well, not Colosseum. Column. That's it. Column. A column design. A Roman column. Or a Greek style column. One of the two. But I do plan on doing that. And I do feel like, you know, it would be nice to have two of them out front. And then probably doing something with the outside over here. I do feel like the towers are a little bit, you know, not that, you know, detailed. So I will probably add something to the towers soon. I might just add it to the front side. I think the front side might be the best idea. I do actually plan on building... Oh, sorry about that. Do plan on actually building some more of these in the future. Wow, they're really messing up, I tell you. I don't know what's wrong with my mouse, you know. I think it really is just dying, to be honest. It just keeps, you know, just going everywhere. But I do plan on, what do you call it, doing more abbeys across my world. I do plan on doing a grand cathedral in our Mashalden. I could not remember its name now for a second. You know, I spend that much time in. I've probably spent most... This is probably the area that I've spent the most time in, apart from Voxtown and apart from home. Actually, I think Voxtown and this place might be tied. I'm pretty sure. But this area, Mashalden, I do plan on building a grand cathedral for this area. Probably knocking down this old site over here. So everything in this will probably be, you know, rebuilt in a certain way for this grand cathedral. I do want to actually make it more town-like. As you can see, I already started doing, like, you know, the paths leading out of town and all that. But I do think there should be something with this wall over here. Something outwards. Like something more here. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Oh, hello there, Invis. Hopefully you're doing right and staying safe. I do apologise I got to your message a little bit late. I've just been rambling. But I do want to add more to this desert out here. That is a good idea. I did start a bridging process a while ago, but it did not look nice at all. So I might actually make a bridge that leads out this way, and probably do something in this area here, along with Village 2. As this is Village 1, this is Village 2, the first two villages I ever discovered, and then we found Village 0, that is literally about 1k from our house. This is where we started, and this is where Village 0 is. So, glad to know, minimal delay. Alright. But back to Voxtown. I'm getting off track, I'm doing, you know, too much talking at you. We're already, you know, nearing the end of today's episode already, and I've just rambled most of the episode. You know what, I'll just make it a little bit extra longer. Alright, so I wanted to gather up a bunch of materials for, specifically, making this area look a lot nicer. And I think, I'm actually thinking about dismantling the bridge. What do you think? It would probably make the place look a little bit nicer to have a smaller bridge going over the river. It just would make it a lot more simple. Make it, you know, less protruding as it is. Because, as you can see, nothing in the area actually looks like this one bridge. And this is actually a rebuild of the previous bridge that has a lot of holes in it, because this is a very old bridge. I do actually quite like this bridge. It's just it's not the well put together one that I would like. And that also means I might have to break down some of this path in here and make it a little bit lower. And, that should really allow me to do what I want to do here. I want to try and rebuild the patio bit out here, the docks. But, it's a little bit difficult, I would say. The problem is trying to size it up so it would look normal, but also it would not look... Well, you could still go down it. You know, you could go through the river. And like, this is a pretty big river. It's just a little bit, tiny bit crowded due to this one boat here. This is actually my boat. I put my boat here. Where is my name of the boat? The names of the boat is on the boat. I fell into the water. Do not look at that. It's definitely not being held in place due to that. The Better Betty. 2022 I built that. 3 years ago, actually. That is 3 years old, that boat. Now that October has passed. That's a 3-year-old boat. It does not feel like that at all. It does not feel like that. So I might actually start planning out the new area for the docks. I might actually make the docks come out a lot more farther than it did before. So we might actually see a lot more difference with this one compared to the last one. Alright. There we go. That's a little bit too high. I'm not wanting it to be, you know, exactly like the previous one. But I do want it to look a little bit nicer compared to the last one. And I will probably break that dirt down below. So we're kind of just sizing it up now to see how large of a change this will be. I don't want it to just be 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, because then that kind of just looks a little bit too cloggy, if I'm being honest. I feel like having a little bit wider stretches in it would definitely make it look a little bit nicer. I do actually have a, what do you call it, build that I saw recently. Wait 1 second. I saw a Minecraft build recently, and it actually looked quite nice. It's by Da Little Red. And I do quite enjoy their, what do you call it, videos. They do some great videos. I would recommend going and checking them out. Let's see. I don't think it's been as smooth as it could be. Further. Alright. Well, I'll probably take a screenshot so I'm able to kind of see my inspiration here. There we go. Actually open up that, split that in two, go to photos, and there we go. Actually not too bad. Alright, so let me see. I think 3 blocks would actually look nicer, to be honest, because it would provide me a little bit more space to work with. Because when it's 2 by 2 it always looks a little bit too cloggy. I always hate how, you know, clogged up it kind of gets when you're working with a 2 by 2, because normally you get bits that are 3 by 3, and when you're doing a design you normally go with something that looks, you know, nice in a 2 by 2, but when it gets a 3 by 3, you know, it just kind of just does not look that 100% that it could be. I might actually make it go out further. I think that might be a tad bit out too far. Yeah, that could stop bolting, but I do apologize for the amount of I'm doing it now. My brain just decides to, you know, go when I'm trying to sink through stuff. Now, with a design like this, it's not the worst, I would say, to now. I just do not want it to become clogged up. I think this would be a 3-block wide area for what I'm wanting to create. I don't want it to be too tall that I cannot jump up it. That's actually not looking too bad, to be honest. That's actually not looking too bad. And you know what? I could kinda line it up with the stairs. Let me start breaking down some of this. Alright. How does that look on the map, to be honest? Might break some of that back some of this tree down. Actually, that's not looking too bad. It looks wide enough. And if I do want to, I could always just widen the river a little bit. That is something that I'm pretty used to doing now. Alright. Let us go and do that. Alright. I think I could line up some stairs down to the water here. I do feel like that would be a little bit nice, to be honest. Stairs by a river. There we go. And then that just means I just have to go and make a little tiny bit to walk up there. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. I might actually bring that back a bit. And the reason why I'm thinking about bringing that back a bit is because I feel like I could make it look a bit nicer. I have an idea. Sadly, I don't have waterlogged blocks in this update. I feel like that would come in handy. Would come in handy quite a lot. If I'm doing this, I got to do 2 or 3. I could do 3 just for the funsies. It does make the entrance a little bit tighter. But in the long run, I do feel like it'd be a little bit better. Alright. So, let us actually break all this. This is all going to be a pathway down. And I just need to figure out how that path and down will go. If I'm being honest. Are we wanting a slow descent? Like we could have it go like this. And then a little bit further. A little tiny bit further. And then we could have trapdoors on the very end. Something like that. That could work. I do actually see that look quite nice, actually. That does actually look quite nice. I probably won't use oak because I have, you know, such short supply of oak. And also, it doesn't really make sense to have quite, you know, nice furnished wood on a dock area which gets soaking wet. I do actually see something else that could be useful for this. Do I have? I could do a mixture to make it look more wet on the edge of the area that's more closer to the water and have the more bit closer to the wall less wet. It does mean combining dark oak, probably oak and birch. Birch might not be the best choice actually. Jungle? That is a very hard choice actually. That is a very hard choice, if I'm being honest. And let's see. You know what, I'm actually thinking about placing these right here. Doesn't actually look too bad, that. And also I can just go and grab that now, the spruce. Place that there. At least I know how I can get back up from the water. Alright. This area over here, what am I doing with it? I don't plan on bringing the docks all the way back there. Or I could. It's just this mound is in the way. That is a good idea. Okay, I'm starting to see something in my head, I tell you. I'm thinking about bringing us back and kind of just flatten it out a little bit, but leveling it to a certain point that's not to the height of this and this, but just to a point that's just a little bit underneath that I can still do stairs upwards, and then we can do the rest of the buildings up here. As I do plan on doing a few more builds up here. I'm actually thinking about, you know, shrinking it down just a tad little bit and having one side a lower down bit of buildings, that being one block down, and this being a bit of a higher bit but more closer to the water, and probably having more blockish kind of buildings, more rectangles, kind of seeming more like work huts than, you know, like the good old miners' cottages, if any of you remember miners' cottages. Kind of like that. Let's see. Now, I'm working with a tight spot here, to be honest. I might actually break this now and place that there. That's actually not too bad, I would say. I'll just shove that there for now. I don't plan on keeping the trapdoors there, I'm just using up the trapdoors so I don't have to sort them into my inventory. It's quite full, if I'm being honest. Alright. And I think you shall go here, if I'm being exact. That is definitely a little bit on the better side, if I'm being honest. And then here. So break that down. Luckily there's no, like, you know, animals that can eat my inventory stuff in this water. There is a, what do you call it? That's a shark. There is actually a, what do you call it? Goats that can eat my stuff, and kinda sucks that, to be honest. Alright. I'm wanting a kinda little bit of dock that comes out a little bit. And I'm thinking this spot must be the right spot. But just look at it. It feels like, you know, you could shove a little dock out here. But I don't want it to be 2 blocks. I kinda want it to be larger. So what if I was to bring this back by 1 block? I'm also actually going to light up the bit a little bit because I don't want mobs spawning down here while I'm working on this and then blowing up what I've worked on. I could bring it all the way to there, but that brings it to a very tight spot. Alright, let's see how this is looking. If I was to do a dock here, kind of just doing a kind of test run here, if I'm being honest. That's actually not too bad, if I'm being honest. And then I could add... Do I want to add it that goes to the sides here? Like this? I could actually bring that back down 1 block so I have a little bit to go upwards. If I'm doing kinda like a, let's say, stone design going along it, how does that actually look? That's very hard stuff to work with, that's what we'll see. I think the problem with the block is that it's more grey. And also we are just out time for today's episode. So, do apologise, you know, that I spent most of the episode rambling. But you know what, it would not be one of my episodes if I did not do that. So, we're going to end off there, and also I still have my chest plate on. Do apologise. There we go. More fancy. So, hopefully you enjoy this. Have a nice day. I cannot speak, I tell you. I get sick, and now I cannot even do my outro that fast. And I'm annoyed. So, have a nice day. Maybe so much because vitamins are very important. I might see things on what I see.